Hello and welcome to another episode of Truly Bedrock with me, Mr. Beardstone. We have got so much that we need to get done today, so I think we're just going to crack straight in. Let's go build a windmill.
It alright. I got a girl who comes home at night, makes us breakfast just in her underwear. Oh, I swear she's got most of her teeth shining bright like the sun. When no trace of your sadness has gone, that you found the right one. Woo! Oh yeah. We've got a car that's 20 years old. Lucky us two don't do what he's told. We go driving down the I-95. Driving slow in the sun, when no trace of your sadness has gone, and you know that you found the right one. You know that you found the right one. Yeah, you know that you found the right.
And there we have it, one shiny windmill, although I do still have a little bit of detailing to do on it, but I'm really pleased with how that's come out. So what we've actually done is situated it kind of off the side of where the mining camp was. We had kind of a big sticky out bit of land here, which we removed last episode, as well as doing lots of terraforming over here. And you may notice I finished the terraforming on this side as well, because obviously a lot happened in the last episode. We kind of bumped into some dude named Bruno. I still haven't seen him around again since, so I'm not sure if I imagined that or if that did actually happen, so I'm going to have to do a bit of investigating there. But we also ran into Zloy last episode, because Alice has purchased a mech, and then we went and helped Liara with some guardians, and that went perfectly fine with no deaths at all. That series of events, however, did leave us with an area over here that we hadn't finished terraforming. In fact, I don't think we'd even finished this bit here, but I have now carried this all the way down. I've also connected it up to the beach. I've marked out where the paths need to go to connect to the town entrances, and I've also made a start on the cliff on the inside here. But as you can see, it is missing many texture. It's basically just stone at the moment, and I've run into the same problem we ran into last episode, which is that we just don't have enough vines. We never have enough vines, and now they're not being sold on the server in the town anymore. We don't have any easy access to them. So I think the next thing we need to do is probably going to be to make a vine farm of some kind. But just before we do that, I'm going to quickly show you a sort of larger view of what's going on here, and you may notice there's a floor plan out over there as well. Now that the terraforming is done over there, you can see how this whole area is going to tie together. There's going to be lots of trees and like a little lagoon type thing down here. And this whole area is going to be fairly sort of wild, maybe a little building or two going up the hill, and there's going to be lots and lots of wheat fields in front of the windmill. So the majority of this hill here is actually going to be wheat fields, and at the top here, this as we did discuss in possibly the previous episode, we're going to be putting a brewery up here. So I've marked out quite a large area. I've got a rough idea for a floor plan. I think I know what I'm going to do with this. And the aim is to try and have this brewery built by the end of the episode, which I think might be doable, but we've also got lots of terraforming to do, because I kind of want to get the rest of this cliff done here. I want to get all the texture in, I want to sort out the paths as well, and I really do want to get those wheat fields in. So we're going to go build a vine farm first, then we'll come out and do some wheat fields, and then we're going to sort out the brewery. My, that is a long list of things we'll be doing today. But before we can even do any of those, I know I need to go over to the shopping district, because apparently I've pretty much sold out of shulkers. I had like 4 or 5 chests of them, so we're going to go grab our shulker shells that we do have left and see if we can restock the shop. There is every chance, however, that we might even need to go do a little bit more end raiding to get that restocked. So, yeah, well, let's stop dilly-dallying. Let's crack on, shall we? Over here at our end shop, I'm looking in the barrels, and it doesn't look like we've completely sold out, but we have pretty much sold about half of them. So I'm going to collect all these wonderful diamonds. Oh, look at those tasty profits. And get this restocked, but we were about 4 short, so I think that's pretty good though. That will probably last us for a decent amount of time, and it doesn't look like we've sold anything else in here. So while we're over here, I'm going to have a quick scout in the rest of my shops, just see if we've actually sold anything else, because it's very possible. And then I will meet you back here, I guess probably once we're loading up the diamonds in our vault, because just from the shulkers alone, we've already got almost 2 stacks of diamonds, which is amazing. And it does look like we've got more in here. Excellent. So in the shop, it takes the longest to explore and check all the barrels. We didn't sell a single thing. Typical. Wow, and it looks like we've even made some money in the underwater shop. We've sold a couple of conduits there, and in here, look, we seem to have sold some coral, which is unusual. Nobody buys coral. Who buys coral? We also had a few profits in our bookshop as well, and that brings us to a grand total of... My elytra's nearly dead. Yep, I'm gonna have to make sure I fix that. So we made just shy of 3 stacks of diamonds. That's a whole lot of diamonds. Let's go put them in the vault. Another 21 diamond blocks added to the vault. Marvellous. This place is going to be overflowing in no time. Right, enough distractions. Let's go build a vine farm somewhere. So, vine farms. The thing about vines on Bedrock is, well, much like Java, you can't really automate the process that much. The best you can do is maybe have like a water channel where you sort of get pushed around and you've got an auto clicker and you harvest the vines. However, Bedrock does have a slight advantage over Java, in that if we use a Silk Touch axe, we can insta-mine the vines, so we don't need as much time to actually sort of mine them and chop them down, and that's making me think maybe we don't need to go too fancy with this farm. Maybe we just need an area where we can grow absolutely loads of them. So I think what we're going to do is just take advantage of the space we've got down here. So I know that through this wall we have our gold farm, so we can't use any space over there, but through this side I believe we've got pretty much just solid wall for a very long time. And I know for a fact that on this side, we definitely have lots of space. So I think I'm going to carve out an area in here and just create a large room where we can grow lots and lots of vines and harvest them very quickly. And I think having them here means they'll pretty much always be growing when I'm at my base, because this area is pretty central and fairly loaded most of the time. So first things first, let's quickly dig a hole around about here. As promised, there's a hole, but I don't quite think it's big enough. Yeah, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. There we go, much better. We have much more space to work with, and we should be able to grow plenty of vines so that when we need loads in a hurry, we can just come down here, harvest, and go. However, this looks obviously very, very rubbish. So let's see what we can do to try and make it look better. I've got an idea. I don't really know if it's going to work or not. But my plan here is to essentially mix up lots of different woods, and then we're going to strip them and just see how that pans out. I mean, it might look a bit weird. I don't really know. We're going to give it a go and see what happens. Well, I've started doing that, and I really don't like it, so I'm going to tear that out and do something completely different. I think that is looking much better than that mess we were trying to create before, and the benefit of this is because there's less wood around, there's less chance of me destroying the room as I'm running around with my axe harvesting vines. So speaking of the vines, I think what I'm going to do is use white concrete for the beams. I might actually put them sort of lengthways this way as opposed to widthways, because then when you're running past the entrance here, you're actually going to be able to see a little bit more what's going on. You can see down the aisles, and it's also going to allow us to place them a bit better and fit a few more in there, because otherwise lining them up with the beams is all going to be very strange. So, next thing to do, get those beams in, get the vines growing, and I'm going to need to make sure there's more light going on, because obviously it's extremely dark down the bottom here, so we're going to have to solve that problem as well. There we go, we have our vine growing room all sorted. The only thing it's missing, of course, is the vines. However, as we've been building this room, if I go up here, we should have vines everywhere. Excellent. So I'm going to harvest these, I'm going to throw them in that room, and I don't know if this is going to be enough to completely fill up the grow room, but we should be able to fill it up pretty shortly afterwards, if not. And, I mean, each harvest should get us a few stacks from there. It's not the biggest room in the world downstairs, but, I mean, it should be big enough for our needs, so that when we do need vines, we can just harvest a few stacks and be on our way. Beautiful, look at that, we are good to go. However, I've not got very many vines left over, so we're actually going to need to wait for those to grow a bit before we can crack on with the next part of today's project, which is, of course, to complete the terraforming of that, well, that entire landscape that's now sitting behind Sanally. So, I'm just going to stand here for a bit while the vines grow. Well, I've been standing here for about half an hour and that's all we've got so far. I'm bored. I'm not gonna lie, I'm bored and I want to build some stuff. So we're gonna take what we can and we're gonna make a start on the terraforming, and hopefully we can just come back here and pick up more vines as we go. Well, it turns out there was more there than it looked like, and we actually have about, well, almost 4 stacks there. There's almost 4 stacks, so there should be plenty to get us started. So I'm gonna grab some stuff, we're gonna head outside, and we're probably gonna, well, I guess it's probably time for another time lapse, isn't it?
Let's go paint the town red, what you say?
You know that I would, but I got bills to pay.
Take me dancing in your living room. Take your shoes off. Do, 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 do. Money makes the world go round. Money can't buy the love we found. Money troubles go away. I got bills to pay, my baby. Bills to pay. I got bills to pay, my baby. I got bills to pay.
Hey Jim, let's go shopping up and down the way.
Will I buy you anything? 'Cause it's your special day. Yeah.
You don't have to be the latest fashion. You don't have to be made of gold. I don't need no fancy handbag if I got your hand to hold.
Money makes the world go round. Money can't buy the love we found. Money troubles go away. I got bills to pay, my baby. I got bills to pay. I got bills to pay, my baby. I got bills to pay. Woo!
I assure you that took a lot longer than it looked in that short 3-minute clip there, but this is really starting to take shape now. I kind of decided that the wheat fields looked a little bit weird when they were just on that thin bit, so I've extended it out the back here, and I'm kind of thinking maybe I need another wheat field. Let me have a look from further away. Yep, I think we need a third wheat field. I think putting one in over here is really going to tie that together. So let's quickly do that, shall we? The planting of one wheat field later, and that's looking so much better, and I am absolutely in love with the view from this bit. I think that's just really, really tying things together, and I am very pleased with that. I can't take off. Oh dear. Oh, that was awful. Let me try again. So looking at this from the air as well, I think that looks a lot less weird than it did before when it was a little bit too thin, and that's also kind of left a path open this way. So if ever we get round to it, we could build a path all the way over to the holiday district, which is not too far that way. But for now, I think it's about time we made a start on this brewery. So I think I'm just going to start by marking out the frame for this building, and as I said, I do have a rough idea of what I want this to look like, but we'll see what happens because, well, plans always change when you actually make a start on things. So I think I'm just going to get the frame in, and then I will see you back here once I've hopefully got at least more of a plan than what I currently do. So I've made a good start over here, and I think I've got an idea of how this is going to look now. I quite like the idea of just using the stone walls down here because of the indent you get on it, and then I'm going to do something a little bit more interesting at the top. Haven't quite decided what material yet though. And of course, we're going to have a nice colourful roof on like we do over the rest of town. But I think the overall structure should work fairly well. I mean, he's not going to be there, hopefully, and hopefully he's not going to blow anything up either. But with a few vats here, and then we've got room up there to have essentially a walkway where you'll be able to look down onto the vats. We can stick an office up there and lots of storage down here. At least that's the plan for now. So I'm going to crack on. I'm going to get the rest of these walls in, and I didn't really think about how that's going to work alongside this bit. Yeah, I'm going to have to work that out as well. But I'll see you back here once we've got a bit more progress on the build, and hopefully you can start to see how it's coming together in my brain. I'm beginning to think that this really is going to work quite well. I'm actually very pleased with the materials we've got going on here. I just need to make a start on the roof. So what we've got is we've got the main section where the vats are going to be, and that's got a taller roof than the side where the storage is going to be, but this is actually going to have a second floor with an area that, as I say, kind of looks over where the barrels are, where the brewing's happening. And I think I'm going to need to make the tower maybe a little bit taller because I don't think that's quite going to fit. I'm also considering changing that, maybe making it round. I think that might work a bit better. But for now, I'm going to get this roof on, and then we're going to get some texturing in on the walls and kind of see how we're looking from there. But yeah, making good progress. I think it's going to be a bit of a stretch to get the inside done today as well, but if I can at least get the outside done on this episode, I will be very pleased with our progress because, well, we've done absolutely loads so far this episode already. We've done a windmill, we've done fields, we've done terraforming, and now we're making a massive brewery. So let's get this roof on and see how far we can get. It's been a short while since our last clip, and I can finally at least say that this roof is done, and also this roof here, but I literally have no idea what to do about that tower at the moment. I'm kind of regretting putting it in the first place, so I've still got something to work out over there, but we'll have a look at that in just a moment. But first, let's give you the grand tour of the outside. So down the front here, I've just put a small spruce roof on the storage area at the front. I've managed to get these roofs in. I've also textured the front of this building. I've added in a sort of winch platform type thing, which I do still need to add a few more details to. And I've changed out the doors on the front here because I think they work a little bit better and look like larger doors that can actually be opened, and it was looking a little trapdoor heavy over there. As we move round to the side, I still need to do some texturing up there, and I appear to have made a hole as well. So I've just got to texture those sand bits up there. I've actually just been using sand, sandstone, smooth sand, birch and stripped birch to sort of get the texture on that we've got around the front, and adding in a few buttons just helps give it a bit of depth as well. So if we take another look at that, that's essentially what we're going to be carrying on around the side. I really do want this building to look like it's been here for quite a while and is looking pretty old. I've just done the roofs out of purple terracotta, and I've actually mixed in some crimson planks as well. So this isn't actually something I've done anywhere else in the town, and I'm kind of wishing I had now because it works really well. I think it really does actually add some extra depth to these roofs. It breaks them up a bit, and if you compare this one to the one just over there that, to be honest, doesn't even really have any leaves on it either, it just looks a lot better, doesn't it? There's a lot more going on, and the texture just really gives it a bit more depth. So around the back, you can see my issue with the tower. I'm wondering if I might be better off literally just ripping out the whole thing. I mean, I don't really think it's needed. I don't feel it adds too much either at this stage. So I might just take it out and actually replace that and rebuild the rest of the roof up, and maybe just leave it at that. I don't really know. Let me know what you think in the comments, because sadly, I think this is probably about as far as we're going to get today. I am all out of time. I've got a little bit of texturing that I can do around the front there, which I'll probably do as we finish up the video. But beyond that, I really cannot make a decision about this particular bit at the moment. But time is getting on, and I need to get this video out to you guys. And looks like we need to texture that bit as well and get some fences in and all sorts. So we've definitely got some finishing details. I don't like leaving projects unfinished on videos, but this has been an absolute beast of an episode because we have added so much to this area. It's absolutely crazy. So as a recap, the start of this episode, this whole area here was basically just empty. The landscaping shape was done, I suppose, but the actual terraforming itself was not. And I'm really pleased with how this cliff here has come down. I'm probably going to put a small lagoon and some swampy bits in here and so on, but as I say, that is going to have to wait for another episode. Something else I have noticed, however, is since getting this building up here, the windmill suddenly looks a little bit dull in comparison, so I think I'm probably going to swap out those blades for white wool as well, because I think a nice brighter blade there is going to stand out better against this building here. But overall, that skyline is actually looking pretty sweet. I really like that. I really do need to get some extra trees in over there as well, though. As I retire to bed, I just want to say thank you very much for watching this episode. If you made it this far, then please do hit that like button. And if you're not already, then please do consider subscribing. The likes and the comments do really help push the videos. So please also do tell me what you want me to do about that tower, because I don't know if it should stay or not. I really do kind of want people's input on this one. So I will see you all on the next episode of Truly Bedrock. Bye-bye now. Oh no, I need to go to sleep. I shouldn't be flying away.